Can I actually write a book about something I know zero about? On this episode, you're going to hear how Shannon was able to use the curiosity of a child to create a career path for herself that even blew her away.
I had met a lot of people through interviewing for this book, which was really amazing. And one of the people I had wanted to interview was John Horger, who's the former CEO now of Annie's Homegrown. They have a little bunny for the logo. If you've seen them in the stores, kids love it. And they
But it's kind of all about healthy, organic food, right? Food. Fits sort of within your broader theme.
Exactly. Yeah. So and that's an interesting point too, because a lot of people hear this and they think unnatural, GMOs, bioprinting, and that's really not what it has to be. So that's in here too.
During one of the brainstorming sessions early on in my class with Shannon, we talked about a new and emerging technology called bioprinting, a tool that was able to take cells and print them in a way that you could turn into meat or food or those sorts of things. And she was quite intrigued by the idea, but told me early on, Eric, I don't know anything about this topic. Could I actually write a book on it? And for Shannon, that fact that she knew nothing about it turned out to be her advantage. And today she's been able to turn that curiosity into a book, into a conference, and even into an emerging podcast season. Now, why has this worked so well? Well, it turns out that for many of us to go in from a place of pure curiosity and interest, we're able to learn, we're able to understand, and we're able to start from a place of not make any assumptions. And as Shannon was going out to write her book, to pitch her conference, and to bring guests onto her podcast show, that ability to take something that was complicated and explain it to herself and teach others was part of her advantage. And that's why sometimes being curious can be the secret weapon for you to create something even if you don't know anything about it when you start. And I guess what's you're excited with the launch event tonight, what are you thinking about, like actually being around people talking about your book? Have you thought about, so when someone comes up to you and says, could you sign my book for me? What do you think you're gonna write?
Oh my goodness.
It's a big question, isn't it?
Yeah, gosh. You know, when I was a little girl, I would like practice signing autographs. To do that now.
There you go, for real.
But I don't know what message I'll write. Better come up with one fast.
I know, you better hurry up. We're coming in hot. Did you have doubts that like you could actually pull off a book with this? Because there's a lot of technical stuff that I remember reading through it, and I think I told you, it was like, I would make sure you have someone who's smarter than me kind of read it, because there's a lot of stuff in here. How is it like tackling something that's futuristic, technical, and all those sorts of things? Yeah,
it was definitely intimidating. I actually didn't know what bioprinting was before I started this class. That's been a whirlwind. But
here it is, I'm gonna write a book. That's something I never heard of before you mentioned it in class one day.
Sounds like a great idea, yeah.
So bioprinting is an emerging area that has developed from 3D printing, where we're trying to build biological structures using the standard layer-by-layer technique of 3D printing. What we're doing is we're printing a scaffold or a structure, and then on top of that we will put cells, and with the 3D printing ability we can carefully control where we put the cells and what type of cells we put in what particular region. And in this way we hope eventually to be able to produce full functioning organs, starting with nothing more than a bunch of cells.
When I heard about it, it just kind of clicked. Wait a minute, there are a lot of possibilities here. So I, did research, read obscure scientific papers online, and I kind of brought my layman's perspective to it, so I hope that translates into the book, because if you're reading this, chances are you too don't know the technicalities of how to replicate cells and whatnot. But I felt a lot better once I had a few actual bioprinting experts read it, because even my uncle, who's a biology professor, he read it and he said, like, seems right, but I don't really know that much about this field, so who knows?
That's great.
So, I'm pretty sure it's all good.
Good. That's all you can ask for. What was it like then plugging into this industry a little bit? Because it is it is this niche place that's both futuristic but combines a lot of things. How was it to sort of like dive in a little bit, and were people welcoming to sort of let you in?
Yeah, it was nice in that respect that it's a relatively new field, because most people were really excited that someone was interested. And so bioprinting has been around medically for a while. They're making great progress right now with bioprinting hearts and kidneys and that kind of thing. But bioprinting food.
Hey, pizza! I'm hungry.
All right, just wait.
When it's ready, can you just shove it in my mouth?
Don't you be a smartass.
Oh, great, the atrocity channel.
Hydrate level 4, please.
Ooh. Is it ready?
Here you go.
Oh boy, Mom, you sure can hydrate a pizza.
Has really only started in the last few years. And last time I checked, there was only one other book about it. And there wasn't when I started writing it, so race to the finish line.
Hurry up.
I know,